everyone, welcome back. We are live on Atwells Avenue right now over in Federal Hill, Providence. We're about to head into Gallery Z, which is open and having its opening reception tonight. So welcome to Gallery Z, everyone.
Hello, ladies.
We're going to have it over first to Bear Zobian, who is the owner and gallery director here.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Gallery Z. Welcome to historic Federal Hill. And if you don't mind, I'm getting foggy, so I'm going to do this.
I'm glad we are here, and thank you for Gallery Night for doing this. I know it's a virtual exhibition past month, May and June this month. We've been in this location about 20 years, and I'm really happy to showcase Umberto Grenca's work, a dear friend Bert, founder of AS220, now retired, an artist, a very established artist, published artist, and all his works is a documentary of commentary of social and political work. All the work is on paper, all original work. So standing around, you'll see this work consists of a number of bodies of work, including some sculptures. So Umberto is here, and he can make a comment about a couple of pieces. His works.
Hello.
Hello, monsieur.
Well, there's a number of different series here. These pieces here, which are all social commentary, are part of a larger series that started in 2001. There's 150 pieces there, but this is kind of a series within that series because the themes would change throughout that period. But I generally work in 4 or 5 different styles simultaneously. So this was done long before well before Trump was president. I wasn't pleased with him from the beginning. I don't know nobody I know is or was, but so that's one type of work. So it's kind of me wanting to get a whole lot of things out of my system. So you'll see pieces about Cuba. You'll see a piece here about Gaddafi. There's a piece about the prison industrial complex, abortion, the fate of human beings, and the arrogance of human beings. Careful dodo. I mean, you have to have somewhat of a sense of humor to survive in this world. The flower ones that you see, they're also part of that long series, but they were where I focused and made the theme primarily a flower. I get tired of doing political stuff, and yet you'll see words like empathy and things like that. There's something happening here where it isn't exactly clear, or is it? So even when I try not to make a statement, it leaks out. I can't quite help it. I'm a child of the 60s, I was involved in stuff in the 60s. When I first met Vierge, these other small pieces here are part of a series I did when I was flat on my back. I couldn't move for 3 months. And I did them all. My wife set me up with materials and everything, had a little lunch pack for me on the side of my bed, and I drew for 10, 12 hours a day and made a series. It was about 60 pieces in that series. These actually, some of these came a little bit after I had surgery, but the more black and white ones, and many of the color ones, that's from when I was on my back, the ones that are more statement oriented. And then there's this series here, which you can see a lot more of these at Nico Bella's restaurant downtown. I have probably 60, 70 works of art that are on permanent display in Nico Bella's restaurant in downtown Providence. And there's a whole collection of these. And these are called Fragments. And these are very improvised, and the reason they exist is because I had so much scrap wood in my wood shop that I decided I want to just sort of develop pieces just from the scraps and recycle those pieces. So there's probably 60 of these. Some of them are wall mounted, some of them are tabletop pieces. And now I'm doing a whole series that doesn't look like any of these. And it's all scenes of Providence, very intimate street level kind of scenes, pedestrian scenes of Providence.
You call these fragments, are they meant to be part of a whole, or are they standalone pieces?
Every single piece of work I do is part of a series, a bigger idea. I never do a work in thinking that it's always related. I very rarely do less than 40 or 50 pieces in a series.
Wow.
Okay? So the fragment pieces, of course, they're improvised in a three-dimensional way, and it's just trying to compose with disparate ideas, where you get disparate ideas and try to compose it into one piece that feels like it hangs together, even though there's very little relationship between things, other than maybe some of the forms or shapes. You know? So a lot of the work, even those small pieces that I said from the Paint and Such series, were very improvised in many ways. These pieces were considered. You know, I had an idea. I might have even done a few sketches first and then executed the pieces. And then within those pieces, as I was developing, there's always some level of improvisation and evolution, you know.
And even within your landscape pieces, there's still politics. Politics is always present, it looks like.
Yeah, this is called the landscape.
Yeah.
And it's actually the Senate in Washington.
The sad part about this, I mean, the reality is that this is what's happening today. And this entire body of work, I think, is very related, ironically, to today's structure in politics. Just want to also mention that this exhibit was hung late February this past year, 4 or 5 months ago, and never opened. So this is our little informal opening reception, today June 18th, Thursday, gallery night, and this coming Thursday, 20 June, between 2 and 5 p.m., we're going to have a closing reception for this exhibit.
And these are, I like materials too. So there's wallpaper in here, collage, sparkle, you know, painted, drawn. This is really a lot of improvisational doodling that I incorporated in a lot of these pieces, in the flower pieces. So, you know, there's always some level of play in everything I make.
What's the most recent work that you've made in here?
Oh, it would be this grouping, some of these and the fragment pieces are the most recent in this show.
Can you tell us a little bit about what these works are?
Well, one of my best friends in life and one of the greatest influences on me was a woman named Gail Whitson Lynch, who died very tragically of cancer, and she direct carved in wood, and she was such a mentor to me when I was very young. I didn't come up and I didn't go to RISD or something like that. You know, I met her actually in a drug rehab program, and she was a RISD student, and I didn't even know there was a museum in Rhode Island. And she took me to the RISD museum, and she took me to all the studios at RISD, and she taught me a lot and supported me a lot in my efforts, even though I was just a working class lawman, which is kind of somewhat of a troublemaker actually. But so I started direct carving just because I knew Gail. So I enjoy every so often. I have a full set of carving tools. I every so often carving. It's not something I do that regularly. If a piece of wood falls in my lap or something.
So Victoria, really appreciate you coming. I know you're on the Bannister Gallery, and you do a great job.
Thank you so much.
I'm so impressed that we're able to do this, and we're fortunate to have the technology today to do this. You know, between our left and right Zoom meetings and all this.
Yes. Yes, I'm glad that Gallery Night Providence is very proud that we're able to go digital and still bring people these virtual art tours, even if, you know, some people can't come out yet. Some people are still immunocompromised, and we're able to bring art to them.
So when you scan a little bit here to the left, you will see a couple of more very strong pieces. So the piece on the left with Fidel Castro and Che Guevara is a piece that's sold, but the minute this piece was delivered to the gallery, I had my eyes to buy the piece, but it's sold and it's going to go to, is it Texas?
Yep, Texas.
Texas, yeah. So.
And it says, I dream of a feminine revolution. So, and I went to Cuba many years ago before it was legal to go through Canada. And when I was the director of ASN 20, we hosted a very radical group from Cuba, and we were playing music in my house, and they said, you've been to Cuba and you do all this political work, why don't you do something about Cuba? So I ended up doing that piece in tribute to them, actually.
Really? I love this piece.
Yeah.
All right, well, sadly, that's all we have time
That's
for
okay.
today.
Thank you very
But
much.
thank
for
you
doing
so
this.
much, Umberto, and thank you so much, Parrish.
Thanks so much.
All right.